Hey, this is Super Saiyan Ryu, and today I'm here with my buddy Seth the Programmer, as well as Chuck the Cybercuck. Yes.
What's up, guys?
So it's a three-way
What's up,
today, all right?
man?
Okay, so basically today what we're going to be talking about is who we think has the most potential in the entire Dragon Ball series. This is
Mhm.
Super, GT, canon, non-canon games, everything. So
Oh man.
without further ado, I want to hear what you guys have to say first. So let's start off with our guest, Seth the Programmer, I guess.
Okay. So some good, contendants for that are obviously, like Frieza. I know Chuck's gonna love this one, but Brawly, um, Majin Buu. Because they're all born so like naturally powerful. I mean, Perfect Cell might also. I don't know if you count that as natural because he had to kind of steal people's lives for it, but I guess he kind of does. So in canon examples, I mean, it kind of comes down to those four. I might, well, not canon because Brawly's not canon, but I think Brawly would probably have the most potential, or Boo. But I don't know if Boo could even train. Really, do you guys think Boo could train? Because I mean, his body regens.
I think he could if he
So
was smart enough.
probably
Because, like, remember he learned attacks so quickly and stuff, and I
like
think if he
Goku
was
did.
smart enough with, like, Piccolo and Gohan in him, he could theoretically train.
My only problem with that is that training is obviously breaking your body down so it can rebuild stronger. And the thing with Boo is that you can't really hurt him. So it's,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could really train him,
You
but
could at
I
least
guess if you
learn
could,
stuff, though, like learn new moves, maybe, like, upgrade
yeah,
Kaioken multipliers or something.
yeah. But if he could theoretically could train or whatever, then yeah, I say Boo probably has the most potential, and Brawly's second because Brawly's stronger than Cell. But
You thought.
so what do you guys
Gohan,
think?
Gohan solos both of them.
So what do you
Right.
think, Chuck? What are your candidates that you want to put up?
Well, Kabe for one, Gohan, and yeah, I mean, like for Kabe, like he was able to learn Super Saiyan, like immediately, basically, right?
Mhm.
Just from getting angry a little bit, though, and Goten, of course, and I mean, he was able to learn it just like when he was a little kid, right? He was like probably less than half the age that Goku was or Gohan when he
Yeah,
first
Goten
unlocked
just
it,
shit it out.
and Trunks did as well. Like, let's see. I mean, and Kabe was basically able to, get like this form just like within, a couple minutes flat, right? And he could have possibly like kept increasing if, like Vegeta really wanted to train him longer, right?
And his parents weren't Super Saiyans like Goten and Trunks.
Yeah, true.
It's pretty
He
interesting.
also had no tail, so
Mhm.
you think like they could be linked to that? Like they're like born without a tail?
I don't know. I heard it's a recessive trait though, but
Really?
I think if both parents have it, then it'd be dominant. But I'd also like to bring up that Mira from Dragon Ball Heroes would probably be like a really good candidate because he's constantly getting stronger. Although Timebreaker Bardock had more potential than him for some reason in the fucking game, but I think when Mira learned about his like fighting spirit, that Mira gained the most potential. And I don't know what you guys think about that because I've never really heard anyone debate Mira before. I've only heard like a few things, but what are you guys' opinion on that one?
Well, if I remember correctly, like wasn't Mira able to like get power, get like powered up from like like all these like battles that were going on in other timelines, like indirectly. He didn't have to like tap into it. He could just like absorb it automatically.
Yeah, he is kind of pulling some Goku Black shit on like Bardock. Like whenever Bardock would like get a new form, Mira would like get strong enough to fight it, and then Bardock would just keep advancing and advancing until he beat him or whatever. But Mira was able to like counteract those, and grow and potential to counter those, transformations. It's pretty interesting actually, but I don't know if that. I'd honestly say that means he has more potential than Hit at least, because
Well,
Hit got like 10 times stronger, and Mira got like 400 times stronger. So I
I'd
don't know
say
what you guys think
Mira's
with that.
growth rate is probably one of the biggest we've ever seen. Like, he just grows at an extremely quick rate, although I would say that his potential might be somewhat limited because if you
Oh yeah,
remember, Toa was like, if you keep growing your power too much, then you'll blow yourself up eventually. So I do think he
yeah,
has a cap, to be honest. At a certain point, he probably couldn't get much more than he was at, like, the end of Xenoverse 2, I'd say, is probably close to his peak.
Yeah, so most characters have like limitless potential, and then Mira has a cap. So yeah, he can't be on there.
Yeah.
So like the way I see it is that like if Mirror is like a battery that's like expanding, right, and he's basically like overfilling it, like faster than the battery can expand. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Except the battery could possibly even explode.
Yeah,
Definitely. So what do you think, Ryu? Who do you think?
Well,
has
I
the
got a
best?
few candidates. Obviously, the idea behind someone who can absorb other people, like Boo or Demigra, theoretically they could get any set of powers that they want with that. So, I mean, that's kind of a cop-out to say that they have the most potential due to that. So, if
Mhm.
we exclude that, then I would say probably the ones with the most potential would be the Time Patroller from Xenoverse 2,
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
the fact with him is during his training, basically, we know that this training happens basically after the events of Xenoverse 1. So this training hasn't been going on for years and years and years. It's like maybe a year or two into it, like since the Time Patrol started, right?
Yeah, because he's
And
going through time in a machine.
yeah, and he grows from being, Raditz level or whatever to going all the way up to Super Saiyan Blue level and taking on Mira and Toa and Golden Frieza and shit like that. And
Yeah.
then even then, after that, if you look at when you do like side missions and stuff, to get, for example, the Golden form with the Frieza race, when you're fighting Frieza to get that form, he makes a statement that your base form is stronger than his Golden form.
Damn.
And then
Holy
also on
shit.
top of that, we have things like during the Whis training, you actually defeat Goku Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue, Golden Frieza, and Metacooler at the same time for like your first or second mission. And then following that, at the end of the Whis training, you actually injure Whis, so you're closing in on Whis' level of power after DLC 1.
Jesus Christ. And Whis, who we discussed in a hit video we just did earlier, is over 50 times strong than Super Saiyan Blue Goku, which is
Yeah.
insane.
And there's one other thing that's even more crazy. Whis states that your growth rate is much faster than Goku or Vegeta's, and that your potential is more than they could ever dream of. So basically, anything they ever achieve in the series, that character has way more potential than that.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Here's another one though. What do you think about the Beat from Heroes?
Beat from Heroes. Actually, that's a good question. I hadn't really thought about him, but
Because he fights the new Demigra.
Yeah, he gets against some real tough guys too. I didn't really think about that one.
Doesn't he also defeat Beerus in Super Saiyan 1 or something?
I'm not sure, to be honest, the whole story behind Heroes, because all I've seen are like the trailers and stuff, since it's only in Japan, right?
hmm
But I do know he definitely does battle against like the new Demigra, and he has fought like Super Saiyan Blue level guys and stuff. So
Mhm.
I guess the real question is just how powerful they're going to make the new Demigra. And I mean, if they put him out in Xenoverse 2, there's a good chance he'll match up against the Time Patroller or whatever, or even be stronger. So I mean, it's possible that Beat will, by extension, wind up being the same power approximately as the Patroller in Xenoverse 2.
Well, I think that they're kind of based on each other anyway, because it just seems like the Patroller is more like a creative character from Heroes just on console.
Yeah,
That's what it kind of feels like to me. But
they're really similar for sure. Similar
Yeah.
ideas.
other than that, the only other character I can think of would be like your Dragon Ball Online character, but I don't think he competes with Heroes
People
or
even play
Xenoverse
that?
2. Well, I mean, it was a thing. It happened for what it was worth.
I mean,
So,
yeah, he's pretty tough, but he's not getting into god levels. Like, he never fought any gods, and I mean, even like Xenoverse 1, if you separate the two patrollers, like the first one, he gets beat by the newer one, despite the newer one having less time to train. And
and
I mean,
Mira one-shotted him.
yeah, Mira one-shots him, and he gets beat even with the Timebreaker mask on, which is supposed to power him up. So you can tell that the newer Xenoverse 2 Time Patroller is a lot stronger than the original one and grows a lot quicker.
So what if you?
Wait, hold
Oh.
on. Doesn't the mask suppress Bardock though?
I thought it powered him up because wasn't he a lot weaker before he had it on?
It powered him up, but then it started suppressing himself like after the power up was done or something.
It's supposed to be like a as you guys play like
It gave him extra key, but it controlled who he was, so he wasn't able to exert his maximum new level. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
Basically like an inhibitor, I would say.
Yeah,
Control.
and Xenoverse 2 does go more into detail with that. Like when you fight Mira, he's like, "Oh wow, you got stronger since your mask got broken off." So he does, yeah, he is suppressed by the mask a little bit.
And then you have Super Saiyan 3 within a couple of minutes.
But the mask did give him extra ki, which granted him to a new level. So I mean, even if you have the mask, it's still giving you extra ki, even if you can't exert all the ki it's giving you. If that makes sense.
So it's kind of like a boost, but it keeps it in check of how much you can use, I guess.
Yeah, so they can control you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah. So I guess, do you want to do like a top 3 maybe?
Yeah,
so like,
sure.
Like Beat and Xenoverse 2 Warrior, maybe just number 1. And
so I think we can all agree that so far, if we set aside Xeno, that Xenoverse 2 Warrior is probably the strongest with the most potential, at least so far.
Yep, definitely.
Especially if you.
Yeah, we should make that a death battle.
Death battle. Hell yeah. So who do you guys think is 2 and 3?
That's a good.
Probably
question.
Hit. It would be 2 maybe.
Hit would probably be in there. Yeah, I would say Hit could probably be number. Yeah, probably number 2. Actually, I'd agree with that because I mean the rate that he grows at, I'd say that he could probably reach there. Although, then again,
he got one-shotted by Goku.
Yeah.
So I don't know if his potential was there during that, but
like maybe if you bring up like 100-year time skip Goku, like I mean, even though it's like all speculation, there's like nothing like.
Really yeah, but that'd still be
Goku
though.
Yeah,
be like a long time.
That'd be more like that would fall under like the GT Goku category, I guess. Like how much potential he has.
Yeah, it's like 400 times in 15 years, or maybe greater.
Yeah.
It's not as much as some other characters. You know, like Mira, who got 400 times stronger in 2 minutes. So,
okay, so I guess Mira number 2 then. Yeah.
Well, Mira does have limited potential, unless you say he's like Super Saiyan 4 form. I don't know if that broke his limiter, but yeah, he does have limited potential, like Ryu said earlier. So I mean, Demigra might be on there though, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I know Demigra in terms of absorption, he has theoretically unlimited potential with that, but I don't know if he can really grow in power. Well, yeah, he can because he grew in power when he was inside the Crack of Time, right? He used to be weak enough for the Kai of Time to put him in there, but when he came out, he was like, crazy strong. So
yeah, so he was like weaker than the Supreme Kai of Time.
Yeah, he was because she put him in there, right? So he had to have been, equal or weaker for her to do that. So
he was probably like no more than Cell level, honestly, or maybe Boo level.
Oh my god,
he came out as a god. Ridiculous.
So I guess he could potentially have, crazy potential, because he seemed to grow in power the more they distorted time, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, theoretically, I guess if he waited long enough, he could just keep growing in power. So his potential could really be up there too. So he'd probably be, top 3 or 5, something like that.
Wait, how could we forget Goku Black and Zamasu or Janemba from like the games?
Well, Zamasu's not in there. That's damn sure. He lost potential by fusing. But
well, like Goku Black though, like he kept getting stronger like ridiculously.
Yeah, he said that he had infinite potential. I'd say his potential, like he said, is pretty much infinite. I'd say he'd only be bound to like not being able to go to 4D kind of stuff. Like I think he might have some 4D power, but he'd be limited to, not being able to kind of occupy multiple space times, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like, how Hit kind of is getting abilities where they like kind of make alternate space times and things like that, and we're seeing
ridiculous,
characters. Yeah, get like some ridiculous hacks. Like Demigra is able to create his own universes and shit like that, and we have all these kind of things happening, right? Well,
yeah.
I think Goku Black would be more like limited in terms of his hacks and things that he'd be able to develop.
Yeah, he just got like crazy Zenkais. I don't know, he's like an amped Goku, really.
He's basically just like raw power to the extreme.
Honestly, Future Trunks has like more potential than Goku Black. I mean, I know that might sound dumb, but
the Spirit Sword,
at the very end of the show, man, he was taking on Fusion Zamasu. Like that's a lot of potential. Like no matter what you say. So yeah, it was ridiculous, honestly. And it's just normal Super Saiyan form. He was taking on like god level characters. That's potential.
He wasn't in his Super Saiyan, like Fall Super Saiyan Blue, whatever the hell it's called.
No, yeah, he actually was able to take on Zamasu and Black without even that, like in his normal
Oh, wow.
Super Saiyan form. I mean, he wasn't stronger than them, but he was able to fight them.
Piss.
Piss. But still, it happened. It happened, man. I mean, he's kind of a Mary Sue, but fuck it, it happened. So I don't take it with a grain of salt. But
Okay, so Rai, you were talking about Janemba from the games.
Yeah, man.
he's crazy.
Janemba
Jesus.
from Shin Budokai. I mean, he's supposed to be basically like a few years after Fusion Reborn. Basically, what happens, Janemba, he was the culmination of all the evil down in hell, right? That went into the ogre. But in Shin Budokai, it doesn't go into an ogre. It just like starts to go everywhere throughout the universe and the macrocosm and everything, and then it even starts to like permeate to other timelines and shit. And they start to like fuse together because of his power,
Damn.
like warping space time, and he starts making it so like old villains start going to different timelines and stuff and fighting with the heroes. And he even
Oh,
does
shit.
stuff like make copies of the heroes and villains and like starts to mind control Vegeta and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's pretty
So how-
hacks.
Yeah, that's
So how many
ridiculous.
timelines does he go into?
Just a few. We just know that he went into Trunks' timeline as well as the main one, and he also actually went into the past, like within Cell Games Gohan. And what he did
Mhm.
there was he actually went into his dream and plucked him out of his dream and brought him into there.
Damn.
Oh,
So he has some dream manipulation too, which is kind of
What?
interesting.
What the fuck?
pretty cougarish type shit, dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah,
I-
he was pretty tough. He's like multi-universal easily, and I mean, he was
Yeah.
still growing, so heaven only knows how much more powerful he would have gotten. And
The
the only
question
reason
is
he
how-
lost was because it was just complete like plot-induced stupidity. They basically had him take all his energy, retract it from all the timelines and universes and stuff, right? And just condense it into one body, and Gogeta destroyed the body. So yeah, it was just like complete plot that he got destroyed for sure.
Man, I don't know if Janemba has the most potential in that case. I think maybe Goku and Vegeta might have the most potential. They grew as strong as dimensions and shit. Like what? Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I guess it depends on how long it took him to get that strong.
It didn't take too long. I mean, the whole course of the game would have taken place like a day or two, maybe.
Damn. So he got like that strong in a day or two, and it
Yeah,
just
because
probably
I
like
know they started
magnified.
noticing him like as soon as he was spreading through hell, and then by the end of the game, which would have all happened in like the same time period. I know that by the end he had spread to at least 3 different timelines and throughout like all the macrocosm in each of them, I guess.
So now that kind of brings up the point: would he be like a astral Zamasu, like when he's in a spiritual form, or whatever?
He's kind of like that, but he's not like completely fused with the universe. He's basically just evil energy that like goes throughout the universe. So he's
Okay.
still like Ki. He's not the actual universe. So it's kind of like a pseudo abstract thing. Like he's still physically there as Ki, but he's not like matter.
I'd say this Janemba is 2, and I'd say Astral Zamasu is 3, in my opinion. But I don't know what you guys' opinions are.
Mm, tough call.
I
They're,
said-
they're pretty similar, to be honest. It's a tough call which one should go where.
Yeah, I said Astral Zamasu because he's obviously going to consume some fucking dimensions or whatever, but Janemba already did it, so logically Janemba would just be stronger, but
Yeah. I'd say Janemba by the end of the game was probably stronger than that version of Zamasu was by the time he was killed, but I'd say in terms of potential, they probably have similar potential. I'd say maybe Zamasu is even more since he literally was like overriding all the laws of the universe as opposed to just like being throughout the universe like Janemba was. So I think he probably had more potential in the end if he was left
Yeah,
alone.
he became
No,
the
actually,
actual
hold on.
authority.
You know who'll be number one? Guess.
Who?
Oh.
Hercule.
Hercule.
Timebreaker Hercule. Or
Timebreaker.
Timebreaker Yamcha.
Timebreaker Hercule actually became really fucking strong.
Yeah,
So
man.
Timebreaker Yamcha.
What's the difference between like a peak human and a fucking like solar system level being? Jesus Christ.
You know what's even
That is some
scarier though,
potential.
man? If you remember those, basically when they become supervillain mode, that unlocks their hidden potential. So Hercule has that potential in him.
That's true. Wow. That's crazy to think about, man. Hercule might actually be a fucking contender. That's ridiculous. I know Yamcha was able to, take on like Piccolo and stuff, but Hercule is just
I had
like
Beerus and Whis with me in that mission, and he bodied both of them.
Yeah, but
And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yamcha's already like a planet buster. Hercule is just like wall level. Like that's ridiculous, man. So maybe Hercule really is up there, but I don't know.
So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up the topic, and I'm thinking, would you guys agree that probably at this point, if we set aside Xeno, then the top three would be the Time Patroller from Xenoverse 2, as well as the Omnipresent Zamasu and the Janemba from Shin Budokai?
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Or Hercule. Actually. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
All
here
right,
to.
so make sure you guys check out Seth's channel and Chuck's channel. I'll put them in links in the description below, and make sure you guys subscribe to them because they got great content.
Yeah.